really compassionately challenging in using your lived experience. Now, what I mean is, I'll give you an example. So the first time that I came across a peer worker, and this is what started my work in mental health, and I call it like being reborn in a way, the conversation with this peer worker. So I was in hospital and I was really, really despondent because I'd been told that you'll never work. You've got this diagnosis and you'll never work, and you'll never be a valuable member of society. You won't be able to have long-term relationships. This was the stuff that was being told me. Oh yeah, that's supposed to be really good for my mental health. Hey, but then the peer worker came and talked with me, and I was really, crying about that my life was lost to me as what I thought it was going to be. And she used her lived experience in a really beautiful and gentle, compassionate challenge. And she said to me, Faye, I've got that diagnosis too, but I work and I pay my mortgage and I, meet my responsibilities. Why can't you? So that was it. She kind of, in her tone of voice, and the other thing she said, it wasn't a judgment. No. It was an encouragement, So the tone could be, why can't you? But it wasn't. It was, why can't you? So
getting
I
you
think,
to think,
it was a really gentle, compassionate, hope-filled challenge. What do you think about that?
I think,
sorry, you go, Chris.
Okay. I think that, that relationship we have with the person and things that's really important in being able to have those conversations, because, making sure that we understand maybe how someone might take those sort of compassionate challenges, and really having that pre-established sort of relationship of knowing that I am coming to you without judgment or persecution or anything like that. It's a supportive relationship, and being able to, also explain and be able to show your intent in those situations as well. Say in a situation like that, Faye, being able to be like, I also at one point thought this was impossible for me, but I was able to find a way that worked for me. How about we explore ways in which it might work for you? And let's keep exploring. It's that hope. It's that let's explore it further. I will support you through this. It's and then but really being really real as well, and being like, it's hard. It can be distressing, but also it's so fulfilling, and I want that. I would love that for you, and to bring it back to you, to be like, I would love to see that for you, and find out what works for you. Let's not just be perhaps forever content with where we are. Let's see if we can move towards some growth.
Yeah, Deb, you're going to say something?
I was just going to say, we referred to that as respectfully challenging in this part of the woods. And just what Chris was just sharing, from the get-go, after, a couple of first interactions and conversations with someone new to the service, we say, we explain that respectfully challenging. You can either call it that or a little bit of tough love, but we explain that the peer relationship. And I always remind new peer workers that come on board here too, we don't do that for stuff, we do with. So we constantly are respectfully challenging, and sometimes it doesn't go to plan. People can get upset and go away and think about it. I guess over the years, most people, 95% of people, have come back and said, well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's to promote that empowerment, like Chris was referring to just a minute ago as well, and provide that hope, and, just of your own experiences of I've had the similar experience of what you shared before, Faye, too. You know, your life won't go too far, and you know, but to share that with the person that you're working with and supporting, you know, because it builds that empowerment, and the peer worker roles is very different to the support role, and we need to explain that to the people that access the service, because I hear a lot around here when people, oh, I never knew this existed. I'm not used to this kind of relationship. Oh, my support worker does this for me, or you know, so even making a phone call, well, how about we rehearse the phone call, or we sit together, you know what I mean? And
Reese, what do you think about that? What did you call it, Deb?
Respectfully challenging.
Respectfully challenge, or compassionate challenge, or what do you think about that, Reese?
Well, I think it's a very positive thing. You know, I think you know, that's how we all should be kind of looking at it, no matter where we work in Flourish Australia, because I feel it's going back to that word role modeling, isn't it? Especially if you're, say, a worker like myself that's been in it for 4 years, and also for you guys as well that have had, you know, years of experience. You know, if someone comes in and, you know, and they're a worker and they quite don't understand the role, well, giving them insight to doing that would be, you know, fantastic. And that's what I found with Flourish Australia, that really made my peer work experience grow over the last few years. So going back to role modeling, like it's extremely important, you know, because it's not just, you know, we're not just not oversharing and all that type of stuff, but we're supporting people as well. Like for that example about talking over the phone, but actually having that, you know, practice before we do call, that was a really good example. Because if we're doing that, then the person's going to want to do it on their own, aren't they? They're going to feel more confident to do that. And I feel that every step that we kind of take with the person, we need to show them that they can do it as well. You know, it's not us, it's them. So
I just want to quickly add, sorry,
no, go on.
With that respectfully or compassionately challenging the people that we support, also by provide, you know, it reminds us as peer workers that we are the role, we need to be role modeling, you know what I mean? It's like a sort of sometimes a self-check. Well, I'm respectfully challenging you, but I need to be accountable and continue to, you know, challenge myself. And
I think there's lots of things that we could have these conversations about, you know, specific things, and we will. Let's do that. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll cover some of these other conversations.